How do we make sense of the information society? What has been its impact on everyday lifestyles, the meaning of community, and our sense of place? Are mobile phones, for example, the driving force of new social networks? Or do they reinforce new forms of alienation? Are communities enhanced or threatened by the internet? Do new information technologies bring us closer together or drive us further apart? As the world gets smaller, is it possible to imagine a new global culture in which time and space are continually shifting and in which our traditional sense of place loses all meaning?
Hello?
Hi, Billy.
Mummy!
I can't talk long because I'm on the mobile.
Hello?
Hi, Billy.
Mummy!
I think it's time for your bedtime story, don't you? Okay.
One rate from BT Cellnet is the only flat rate tariff in Europe. The cost of your calls doesn't change from country to country, so you always know what you're paying. You never know. It might change your life. One rate from BT Cellnet. Good call.
Part of life, man. It's like putting shoes on in the morning and going out for a walk. It's there.
I have sometimes felt a little ill when I'm incommunicado. I like to be contactable and be able to contact people.
I think they're a pain in the arse because I think people don't actually communicate using mobile phones. It's the superficiality of chat. Hi, where are you? Oh, I'm in Brighton. It's that sort of thing.
I think the mobile phone culture, what it says about our society, is that we have a desperate desire to be in communication with other people. This idea that it's good to talk, that any talk is good, is better than no talk. You know, the confusion between going like that and actually feeling intimacy with someone else, that's what's missing in our society, is the feeling of intimacy.
Lived down the road, I used to know everybody and what numbers they lived at. I don't even know who lives next door to me now.
In fact, you don't want to, do you?
No, not really, but...
Might ring up for something special, but we met one another to have our conversations because we all live near one another.
Compared with 1950, we're considerably less plugged into each other in social networks based on families.
I've got two on me at the moment because one is a personal phone and one is a business phone, and I like to keep business and personal calls separate.
This has got loads of functions, yeah. Infrared, it's got email, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, I don't use any of it.
It's just an essential part of me, to be honest, which is really weird, but it is. I feel, you know, I panic if I lose it.
We live in a society full of alienation, and making a telephone call is not going to change that.
What do you say to people who observe young people, especially with mobile phones, and say, well, this is the culture of alienation?
I think we are in danger of building a society where people are isolated and alienated. But those sources of alienation aren't the communications technology, they're the other things that we have in our life, the kind of jobs people have and so on.
These telephones, mobile telephones, are not really for purposes of communication, but to enhance the prestige of those who carry them and make it apparent that they themselves are upwardly mobile. Would Her Majesty's government care to think of some decoration which could be offered to such people, which they could wear, which would indicate that they are qualified yuppies without boring the rest of the public with their conversations, alleged or imaginary.
In 1997, this leafy North London street became the heart of an experiment. For the first time in the world, the American software giant Microsoft gave away a stack of computers and switched the whole street online.
The first thing that happened was a letter came through the door, which most of us could hardly believe, because here was somebody offering free computers, free telephone lines, practically free telephone bills to play around with as we wanted to.
What we're interested in with MSN Street is seeing what the effects of giving a physical community in the same time and space access to the internet, because all that people had really seen before was the creation of virtual communities based on people with a common interest around the world in a different time and space.
A year later, and the residents are still talking, celebrating the project and their community.
There's an email system, and there's a road notice board, I think, so you can pin things up that you think would be interesting to other people.
Baby, I don't care. I'm not one for writing. I think using the computer is much more exciting for me than it is just using a pen to paper.
By making them a study, Microsoft has brought the street together in a new way. But the technology has also exploded its physical boundaries. Today, communities stretch far beyond the corner of a street. Suburban fences suddenly straddle oceans. And even back garden chat has gone global.
If I'm gardening, there's always somebody who's got the same sort of problem as I have. I mean, I'm growing a slightly exotic plant, an acacia. Acacia dealbata. The seed was brought back to me by a friend from the Mediterranean who challenged me to grow it, and I looked up acacia dealbata on the network, and there were a whole lot of acacia enthusiasts on the Pacific coast of America. So I left them a message saying, would it be possible to grow an acacia dealbata in London? And they said, absolutely not. Or one of them, a Mr. Gadd he was, said, no way, it has to be grown in a hot tropical climate, and it flowers with these lovely little yellow balls at Christmas time. My ambition is to make it flower over here. So I've got my little digital camera, I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to email it to him.
"10 years ago, this communication would have been impossible. Our technology is taking us into uncharted territory, where even mighty corporations can only guess the future, and where our relationships will never be the same again."
It's gone.